Hello everyone and welcome, my name is Thundernumel and I welcome you to the channel. This is an update from the yesterday's video in which people had many questions about the combos, so I'm here to answer them all. Bear in mind that these combos are just here to whet your appetites and that the deck list is far from being finalized. The first question we are going to answer is how to play around NIBIRU in DDDs. It has been an age-old question and honestly there is no one correct answer for it. The problem with DDDs has always been the amount of times you have to special summon per turn, and the deck is crazy explosive unless your opponent has a way to stop it. Which, I mean, most of the time they do, but sometimes they do not, and if they do, you can play around it kind of. I'll just show you a couple of examples and you can tell me if you enjoyed it or not. So guys, here's one of the combos you could do to play around NIBIRU, and I'll show you a couple more, but this is the basic gist you have to go through. This can be either a 3-card combo or a 4-card combo in case you don't have a Kepler, but basically what you would do is you would normal summon the Kepler using the effect of Kepler. You'd add a gate, then the gate will add one of the missing pieces you need. In case you already have all of the 3 pieces in your hand, then this can be any DD, and you'll see what I mean in a second. So you would use the effect of Swirl Slime, fusing it with any of these two, it doesn't really matter in this particular combo. You'd go into Small Genghis, then use the effect of Swirl Slime, banishing it from the graveyard to special summon Copernicus. At this point you'll chainlink 1 Copernicus, chainlink 2 Genghis. The Genghis will bring back the Baphomet, and then the Copernicus will send a Vice Typhoon. And I know that most of you are worried about the Vice Typhoon, however, it is just a one-off, and it doesn't really make you break that hard. So honestly, I think it's worth playing as a one-off. In most combos you just need one of them, and you will never see it again, most likely for the rest of the duel. Anyways. You would use the effect of Baphomet here, making Kepler a level 6, then you will overlay them into Caesar. This is your 5th summon of the turn, so in case your opponent wants to Nibiru you here, you will just detach from Caesar and negate the Nibiru, and then you can go about your merry way. The next thing you would do here is link these two into your link. Use the effect of Gilgamesh here, and the scales are important here. One of them is Ragnarok and the other one has to be Orthros. It has to be Orthros for a very particular part of the combo, or you can just play triple links, but I don't think you need to play triple links, so this is as far as it goes. So we take 1000 damage here, and then we pen summon the Copernicus. On the summon of Copernicus we trigger Ragnarok, and Ragnarok brings back the Baphomet. Then we take 1000 damage again. Next we'll overlay these two, going into Small Caesar. Then over the Small Caesar we overlay the Marksman King Tell. We'll use the effect of Marksman King Tell here because we took damage, so we inflict 1000 damage to our opponent. And then at this point we use the effect of Vice Typhoon, banishing it and the card that we detached. It's just important that we don't detach the Small Caesar, any of these two will work. We go into Big Genghis. Next we'll link and the Marksman King for another link. This will trigger both the Genghis and the Marksman King, so you go chainlink 1 Marksman King, chainlink 2 Big Genghis. The Big Genghis will bring back the Caesar here, and the Marksman King will send a Lamia. The next thing you can do here is use the effect of Lamia, destroying the Small Caesar to special summon itself. And then use the effect of Small Caesar to add a Dark Construct with Swamp King. You can then use the effect of Dark Construct with Swamp King, fusing your Baphomet and the link from the graveyard to go into your D-Arc. And then you can just go ahead and freely synchro summon into a Siegfried. From here on out you can just overlay the Machina over your Big Genghis, and that's the full board. In case you didn't want to go this route, you could have used Orthros, destroying itself and the Caesar to add the Swamp King and then destroy the Swamp King to summon the Lamia. But this is the gist of things. If you wanted to remove the Orthros, then in the standby phase you could move the Machina into your scale. Then if you saved up your Copernicus, you could just summon the Ragnarok brings back the Genghis, or, you know, the Marksman King or the Caesar, and then you go from there. But this is the basic combo that I thought of. So basically, after seeing the combo, you get the gist of things. Before you do your main combo, you can go into Caesar, and then Caesar will block out the NIBIRU for the rest of the game. Be however mindful of the fact that you can get NIBIRU'd on your opponent's turn as well, which has happened to me multiple times. So yeah, don't get too carried away with bringing back stuff from your graveyard on your opponent's turn. As far as utility of the Baphomet goes, I'll talk about it later in the video. However, it is a very interesting card in the pure variant of the build. Could it be a trio in the deck? Well, I don't know, you decide. If you want to play around NIBIRU, then sure. As far as the Copernicus goes, well then just take a look at this combo. You don't need to have a Copernicus to be able to do the exact same thing. So the second variation of the combo is pretty similar to the the one that I showed you previously. The only difference being, instead of Copernicus, you would have Griffin in your hand. So you would need Swirl Slime, Griffin, Baphomet, and any of those would have been searched by Kepler, or you just have a spare DD lying around. So in this case, what you would do is use Swirl Slime and Griffin, and this is mandatory in this combo because you don't get the Griffin effect to search if you use Griffin, if you summon Griffin from your hand. So you would banish the Swirl, summon the Baphomet, use the effect of Genghis, special summon the Griffin, then you get the effect of Griffin to search. Here you would search a Necro Slime, same card. I mean, not the Necro Slime, the Vice Typhoon, same card that you sent off previously with the Copernicus. Then you use the effect of Baphomet, making Kepler level 6, overlaying these two into Big Caesar, thus playing around NIBIRU. Next, you will go into your Gilgamesh, use the effect of Gilgamesh. The effect of Gilgamesh will activate 2 scales. You just need any low scale, but as mentioned previously, if you want to remove your low scale, then you would use Orthros, so I'll use it in this example. Then you Pendulum Summon here, using the effect of Ragnarok and the Griffin. The Griffin will discard the Vice Typhoon, and then you'll draw a card. This card doesn't matter, we won't be using this one. Ragnarok will bring back the Baphomet, so we take another 1000 damage here, and we took 1000 from the Gilgamesh. Next, we'll overlay these two into Caesar, then overlay Caesar into Marksman, then use the effect of Marksman by detaching a Baphomet to inflict 1000 to our opponent. Then we'll use the effect of Vice Typhoon, banishing these two, going into Big Genghis. Next, we'll link the Marksman King and the Gilgamesh into another Gilgamesh. On the summon of Gilgamesh, we'll use Chainlink 1 Marksman and Chainlink 2 Genghis. Marksman will send a Lamia from the deck to the graveyard, and the Genghis will bring back the Caesar. The Lamia that we sent will destroy the Caesar, send it to the graveyard to special summon itself. Then the effect of Caesar will trigger, adding us a Dark Construct with the Swamp King. The Dark Construct with the Swamp King will activate, fusing our 2 monsters in the graveyard. If you wanted to use the Orthros to destroy the Caesar, then you would have this slot spare, so you want to keep Griffin in the graveyard. In this scenario, you don't wanna. So you go into your D-Arc, and then you Synchro Summon for your Siegfried. At this point, you can just overlay your Machina on top of whatever you want. I prefer to use Genghis because the floating effect of Gilgamesh can come up and be extremely relevant. And that's it for combo number 2. Before moving on to other ways to play around NIBIRU, which are more bare bones and easy to understand, I'd like to humbly ask you to subscribe to the channel and click the notification button, because it does really help me out and it'll give you more combos to work with, so it's a win-win. Let's just briefly talk about the other hand traps. If you watch my Blackwing combo video, you'd realize how easy it is to play around hand traps when your combo is linear. If your deck just does one thing and does it good, then you can anticipate at which point the opponent might or might not hand trap you, and then you can adjust your plays accordingly. The unique thing about DDDs is that your combos are greatly dependent on what you drew for your opening hand, and therefore it's much more varied than a simple combo. Because of that, every time I show you a combo, I would have to talk about every single choke point, and believe me, there are many choke points. And it would just take too much time. So if you have any specific questions about playing around hand traps, like the Nibiru question, please feel free to ask. Moving on to the next combo. Now, I've gotten a lot of requests from people asking me to do combos with the DDD Divine King Zero Rage or whatever. And the combo video about that card is coming out, but until then I'll just show you how to play around Nibiru by using it. So this is your starting hand, and the way you play around Nibiru is pretty bare bones. This is like the most basic combo you can do. You need a swirl and a necro, and before you start your combo, so you would use swirl, send it in the necro, go into small Genghis, then use necro, using it and the swirl, go into another Genghis. Then you would overlay these two, going into the Caesar, and then you would do your one card combo from here. Now, in the previous video I showed you the Europe legal TCG combo, but this one is for my American viewers. So what you would do here is use the effect of Kepler, add a gate, use the effect of a gate. With the gate you will add a Griffin. The Griffin's effect will allow it to special summon itself here. And then you link these two away to go into your Gilgamesh. Using the effect of Gilgamesh, you'll place very specific scales. So the first one will be Rage as your scale 0, and the other one will be a card you don't see very often, DD Cerberus. So, because we have scales from 0 to 6, we can pen out both of our guys from the extra deck. At this point you could use the effect of Griffin to mulligan for something, but it doesn't really matter. Now what Griffin does is you can target a DD monster you control and change its level to 4. So what we'll do here is change the level of Kepler to 4, then we'll overlay these two into a small Caesar. But it won't stick around for long because we'll just overlay it for Marksman King Tel. We can use the effect of Tel to burn here, it doesn't really matter. Then we'll link these two away into another link. And using the effect of Tel, we'll send a Vice Typhoon from our deck to the graveyard. Next we'll use the effect of Vice Typhoon, banishing it and whatever you need. We'll go into Big Genghis. At this point we'll overlay for Machina over our link. Then the Big Genghis will trigger, special summoning the Griffin from the graveyard, and we'll use the third effect of Griffin to add the DD Manhunt. So our board at this point would be a monster negate, double monster removal, I guess, non-targeting, double summon negate, and that's basically it. But it does play around Nibiru, and if you didn't have Swirl and Necro, the one card combo you would use would end you in a board state like this. Okay, moving on. Before moving on, please let me know down in the comments below if you'd like me to narrate the combos or you just like me to play them with some music over them. Some people in the previous video didn't enjoy the fact that I didn't explain everything I was doing, so I don't know which one is better. Or if you're unfamiliar with the DDDs and would like to learn how to play them, I can make a basic combo guide for them. Also, some people wanted more one-card combos, so here you go, I guess. Here's another wacky combo for you lucky Americans who have access to the DD Rage. So you would use Kepler, and bear in mind this doesn't play around Nibiru, it's just fun. So you use Kepler, you add gate, you use the gate to add the Griffin, you use the Griffin effect, special summoning the Griffin. You link these two away into your Gilgamesh. Then you use the effect of Gilgamesh, setting both scales. So our Rage and the Cerberus. Then you pen summon both of these. Same as before, you use the effect of Cerberus, making the Kepler level 4. You overlay these two into small Caesar. Then you link away the Small Caesar and the Gilgamesh into another Gilgamesh. Using the effect of Small Caesar, you would add Dark Contract with the Swamp King. Then using the effect of Swamp King, you will fusion summon into a small Genghis. Next thing you'll do is overlay a Machina on top of your Gilgamesh. This will trigger your Genghis, special summoning the Caesar from the graveyard. Now you can overlay your Marksman on top of your Caesar, using the effect of Marksman, because we took 1000 damage from the link. You can burn your opponent for 1000 as well. You will then link summon into your third copy of Gilgamesh. And then you will use the effect of Marksman King to send a Necro Slime from your deck to the graveyard. And the Necro Slime will fuse itself with the link, making your second Genghis, which you will then overlay with your first one to go into Big Caesar. You will finish your combo by overlaying your second Machina on top of your link. And at this point you have 2 disruptions from your contracts, so you will have 3 materials here. Then you will detach 2, taking another one, so you will have 1, 2, 3, 4 interruptions with Machina and 2 negates of a summon with Caesar. This is pretty good, if I do say so myself. But the problem is you have to run double Machina, which you might wanna do anyways, and the triple link, which you probably shouldn't wanna do. If you don't wanna go overboard with attacking your deck, then you can just do the simpler version of the combo. So you use the Kepler, you add the Gate, you use the effect of Gate, you add the Griffin, same as before, special summon the Griffin. Then link these 2 away into your Gilgamesh. The Gilgamesh will set both scales, which were Rage and Cerberus. You pen summon these out, then you make the Kepler a level 4. Then you overlay these into Small Caesar. And you link the Small Caesar and the Gilgamesh away for another Gilgamesh. And you use only double Gilgamesh in this instance. Use the effect of Small Caesar to add Swamp King. Then you use the effect of Swamp King, making a small Genghis. Next you'll overlay a Machina on top of your link. And then using the effect of small Genghis you will bring back the Griffin. And the Griffin will add a Manhunt from the deck to your hand. So this again gives you 3 materials under the Doom King Machina, which is 4 interruptions here, and a Steel and a Monster Negate. For the end of the video, I just like to address some of the more unique DDD decks I showed you in the previous video. I hope you enjoyed this one. I had a few people wonder if Night Howl is good in DDDs now, and I wanted to show you a combo that came up for me, including Night Howl. However, this is more catered to Americans because it will use DD Cerberus, and I am quite sure that you don't want to be using DD Cerberus if you don't have access to Divine King Rage. So this is a hand that includes a brick, and most of the times it's really bad. However, in this case it doesn't really matter what this card is. So what I did here was use Swirl Slime and the Apocalypse, this can be anything really, to go into Genghis. Then I banished the Swirl Slime, special summoning the Baphomet, then using the effect of Genghis I'll special summon the other DD, this can be literally anything. Then using the Baphomet I'll make this one level 4. From here on we can go into Caesar. Next we'll link Caesar and the small Genghis into Gilgamesh, and keep in mind the small Genghis already revived, so we don't have access to his effect yet. So we'll go into Ragnarok and DD Cerberus at this point, and we'll take 1000 damage and the effect of Small Caesar procced, which will allow us to add a contract. Now bear in mind we didn't normal summon yet this turn, so what we can do here is activate the gate, and using the effect of gate we can pick up the Night Howl. The Night Howl will then be normal summoned, and using the effect of a Night Howl we'll special summon the Baphomet from the graveyard, I believe. And then we'll use the effect of Ragnarok, targeting the Caesar from the graveyard, special summoning it, so we take another 1000. Then we'll go into Marksman over the Caesar, then we'll use the effect of Marksman, detaching to burn for 1000. We'll link away these two into a new link. Then the effect of Marksman will trigger, sending a Necro Slime from our deck to the graveyard. With the Necro Slime that we just sent, we can banish it and Genghis, because let's say this wasn't a level 7. If it were higher, then you can consider banishing it, but it doesn't really matter. We'll go into High Genghis. Next we'll use the effect of Baphomet again, making High Genghis a level 6. Then we'll go into the Small Alexander, using the effect of Genghis. We'll bring back the Night Howl. I mean, it doesn't really matter, but yeah, sure, let's go with the Night Howl. And then on the summon of Night Howl, we'll go Alexander to bring back the Baphomet. We will use the effect of Baphomet to make Alexander a level 6. This will allow us to overlay Alexander and Big Genghis into Big Caesar, and then we can use the effect of Cerberus to make Night Howl level 4, which will allow us to synchro summon into a Siegfried. Then from here on out we can just overlay a Machina on top of Gilgamesh and be done with our board. This isn't fantastic, but honestly it doesn't require you to have an amazing hand, so I think you could consider this, honestly. I really do hope that you enjoyed the combos I showed you today. If you would want to play around Nibiru and other hand traps before your 5th summon, you could also consider running a Sacred Beast engine and then going into Appaloosa before doing your regular DD combos. If you have any questions about the other hand traps, feel free to ask, because talking about each and every one of them in a single video is just impossible. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!